welcome back to another bi-weekly episode of Lit Sports Online here on the LitTube channel. My name is Justin, and this is Gerald.
And tonight we got two great subjects we're going to talk about tonight. We got Kevin Durant's off-season moves, and we're also going to take a look at the rookie quarterbacks in the NFL this season.
So starting with Kevin Durant's off-season move to the Golden State Warriors, I want to provide you with a little bit of background information here. So Kevin Durant had his contract expire in the offseason with the Oklahoma City Thunder. And in free agency, he decided to sign with a new team. He signed a 2-year deal worth $54.3 million, which takes him to the Golden State Warriors. Now, when they asked Kevin Durant about this, he cited it as the best opportunity for his personal growth as a player and also a chance to move out of his comfort zone and into a new city. Kevin Durant is the highest paid player now on the Golden State Warriors roster, earning even more than two-time MVP Stephen Curry, who's been the face of the Golden State franchise up to this point. So Gerald, let's get into this and discuss what we think about this move. I'll start with you.
So it reminds me of like when I used to play Madden, and I would like take, no, you know, I'm not even going to say Madden, because I used to do this in like NBA Live back in the day, back when they used to have that. I used to take like Kobe, and I would take like Shaq, and I would take like all the big name players of the league, and of course Kobe and Shaq had played on a team together. But I used to take all the big names and just run through the season. And I mean, of course, this is the generation of the super teams. I mean, you saw what they did in Miami. Miami had great success. But LeBron, you know, and speaking of Miami, I think of LeBron, where his similar situation, his contract expired, went to Miami. But his situation was very different because he was single-handedly carrying the Cavaliers. Kevin Durant had a squad. You know, Oklahoma, they were no slouches. And for him to, I've seen it on ESPN, I've seen it on many sports talk shows and talking with my friend. It's almost like, so you get beat by a team, and then you go join them. Like, so I guess it's the simple case of if you can't beat them, join them. And like I said, I get it. You want a championship. You want money, you know. People don't only play this game for the love of the game. It's a business. And you're here to make money. You're here to get championships. But for me, I don't know.
So do you have a big problem with what he did then?
I think for the simple fact that I don't think OKC was completely out of the equation here in the NBA Finals. They could easily be a game away from the NBA Finals. You know, I mean, we saw it. You know, that easily could have been Oklahoma versus, you know, the Cavaliers. Easily.
Right, I understand. So I just keep thinking back to like what LeBron James did, and you touched on it a little bit when he was a free agent, decided to go to the Miami Heat. He had been on the Cavaliers basically his entire career. I think it's a little different circumstance though, because that was his hometown. I mean, he grew up there. He got to. It's kind of like if someone was born in Baltimore and got to play for the Ravens and then left because they couldn't win the Super Bowl. Like that's kind of how I felt about it. Like he left his hometown. He went ahead and got those championships in Miami. Then he went back, and frankly, I was a little upset to see him go ahead and win a title with the Cleveland. I wanted him to struggle the rest of his career and not do that. But you know. I have to say I'm kind of a LeBron hater, but, you know, he did it. Props to him.
I was rooting for Golden State, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, so, but no, I don't have much of a problem with what Durant did here just because, I mean, you have to look at it from the other perspective of, like, being the player and in that situation. And, like, you know, it's not like he took a huge pay cut to go to Golden State. He's their highest paid player now. So you got
I'm going to interrupt you for a second because, you know, as soon as Steph Curry's contract's over, he's sitting there with a big old sign saying, pay me. Two-time MVP, you're going to pay him. You're going to pay him probably more than Durant, or you're going to lose him.
Well, that may be the case, you know, but the thing is, you're sitting there, you're mulling over your contract offers as a free agent, and here's a true finals contender coming at you saying, we're not only going to offer you a chance to come on our squad, we're also going to pay you how you should be paid. So I think he made the right choice, and I understand why a lot of fans would look at it and be like, oh, you're just joining them because you couldn't beat them, so you're joining them, and oh, this is just going to make it like too predictable what's going to happen with the season because now this team's going to do really well because they got him. But I mean, at the end of the day, you have to look at this from the player's perspective, and he could have stayed in at the Thunder, but I think the move made sense, and now LeBron's going to have a real challenger for the finals. If those two teams meet, it's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, the challenge before when Steph Curry was there last year, but it just came up short. I'm gonna say it like this: I don't hate him for the decision. I don't know. I can't fault him. You want to be the best. You want to be on the best team or whatever. You want to play. You don't want to lose. You get tired of losing, and that's understandable. But I think there was so much work that could have been done in Oklahoma. And I mean, I would have liked to see him another season with him. I think it would have been interesting. Like I said, that series with Golden State and Oklahoma, it was exciting. I liked it. And like I said, they were probably a game away from winning. It wasn't like Oklahoma was like completely dominated them the whole time. No, not even. So, I don't know. And again, like you said, it is a business. You want to make the most money. You want the best opportunity to get a championship. I don't know, man.
What I will say about it is that the reasons he gave when they actually asked him about it, personal growth, moving out of it to a new city, I think that's kind of a load of garbage. I mean, that's kind of him just.
That's garbage.
We all know the real reason.
Come on,
they
man.
Paid him, and he's on a finals contender team. That's the reason.
Yeah, come on,
but
man.
He wasn't gonna admit that on camera, but that is why he made this move.
At the end of the day, again, you ain't gotta lie, bro. You really don't have to lie. Just be real with yourself. Maybe if he was real with himself, maybe, I don't know, maybe he would have got a championship with okay.
Well, just one last point on this. Do you feel that NBA fans as a whole gave LeBron more shtick for when he left, or was it all, do you think they're making a big deal out of this Kevin Durant thing and there's not really a balance there?
Well, there's a difference what LeBron and Kevin Durant did. Because, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of LeBron, much like I'm not a complete hater of him. I mean, I ain't got nothing against the guy. But LeBron turned it into this spectacle more than it had to be. I'm taking my talents to South Beach. Dude, was that really necessary? Just sign the dang contract and go. You don't have to make it this weird thing where it's like this prime time thing on ESPN where you're telling us you're going to Florida. Okay, cool, dude. I respect Kevin Durant, the fact that it wasn't if it wasn't for the simple fact, the drama behind it with the fact that, okay, Oklahoma just lost to Golden State. If that was the case, if it hadn't been for that, this wouldn't have been such a big deal. And so, Kevin Durant probably tried his best to do it as low key as possible, and he didn't make it some big thing. Oh, I'm taking my talent, blah blah blah. Jersey burn, Jersey burn. There's so many jerseys burned during that. It's hilarious to me.
I think it's just one of those things where, if you're a Thunder fan or you were a Cleveland fan when LeBron left, of course you have all the right in the world to get upset about it. But for the typical NBA fan that's taking more of a neutral look at this, you just got to take it for what it is. I mean, you're a free agent, you have offers on the table, you take the one that's the best from a money point of view, and also you weigh, for some players it matters more to them the chance to win a title. That matters more than money to especially some of the guys that already have tons of money. I mean, we saw that, bring up a football example, Randy Moss going to the Patriots. What was that about? It wasn't all about the money. It was about, I want to be on a team where I have a chance of winning a Super Bowl.
Oh, well, one last championship before I retire.
So we shouldn't be really shocked by things like this happening. I mean, it's one of those things, it would be a different situation, honestly, if he came to the Thunder front office and was demanding a trade. Trade me, I want to be on a better team. Then we could ridicule him all day for that. But you let your contract expire, you served your time on that team, and now it's your decision where you want to go next.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. Like I said, we're gonna see. It's gonna be. I'm interested for this basketball season. I'm really interested in. We're gonna do an NBA special actually later on, probably next month sometime, and we're gonna go a little bit more in depth and overall with the NBA. Will Cleveland do a repeat? Will Golden State? Will it be Golden State and Cleveland? Round 3. Who knows?
That's an interesting point we could bring up too. Is who are you taking? Are you taking Cleveland, Golden State, or the field to win the finals? That would be an interesting question.
It's like with Golden State. I mean, yeah, you got Kevin Durant in this new role, so how's he going to gel with this team? I mean, how's that going to work out?
It will be interesting to see, but there's definitely a lot of playmakers on that team, and
so many.
I think as of right now, you got to think they're the favorites. So
yeah, like I said, if they're not in the NBA Finals, I would be actually surprised. Yeah. So we'll be back with more Lit Sports Online.
Welcome back to the show. We're now going to talk about rookie quarterbacks in the NFL and how they've done through the first 4 weeks. So, we talked about this before the show. Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott are the big two we want to discuss here.
Big two, yeah, no question.
Yeah, I mean, you got Carson Wentz 3-0, undefeated on the Eagles. They had a bye week, but 3 games undefeated. And Dak...
I mean, let's be honest here. Let's not sell Jacoby Brissett short. He did step up for the Patriots, though. We likely will not see him play unless something catastrophic happens to Tom Brady.
Right. So for right now, we want to focus on the top 2 guys. And so Wentz through 3 games, he's got 66 completions on 102 attempts, 669 pass yards, 5 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Prescott on the 3-1 Cowboys has played 4 games, 89 completions, 131 attempts, 1,012 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 57 rushing yards, and 2 rushing TDs. So here we're looking at 2 guys that have not thrown an interception yet through 2 games, and they're both rookie quarterbacks. How do you size them up, Gerald?
I mean, dude, you were reading out the stats, and these kids aren't playing like rookies, man. They look like they've been doing it for years. Like, they look like they've been at the NFL for years. I mean, you think of that transition period from college to the NFL, it takes some time for a lot of guys. I mean, sometimes a lot of guys just don't make it. I mean, look at RG3. People thought he was going to be amazing. In fact, I had never even heard of Dak Prescott until, this. But, I mean, they're just doing amazing. I mean, the way Carson Wentz just went in there, and, I mean, this is both the Eagles and the Cowboys, NFC East teams, and I mean, at least in the last, decade, probably the NFC East hasn't been the most strongest of divisions. And I mean, these guys are 2 of the best records in the NFC. And I mean, to be fair, it is only 4 games, but I mean, you got a guy putting up over 1,000 yards already. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Is there, out of the 2 of them, one that impresses you more than the other?
I love Dak Prescott because he does bring that rushing attack. There's just that added element to him. But I think I like Carson Wentz a little bit better. I just like the way, I just love the way that kid plays. He reminds me of Joe Flacco. And, of course, as a Ravens fan, that resonates with me. So I'm going to have to go. I think Carson Wentz, I like him a little bit better. I think they're both amazing, and as long as they stay healthy, stay humble, and they keep growing, they're going to have amazing, long careers.
I like Carson Wentz a little better, too, simply because, Dak Prescott, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's done amazing through four games, but he's in more of, I guess a little more in game manager mode than Wentz. Wentz is like a gunslinger. He's coming. So the fact that he's got 5 touchdowns, no picks, is pretty impressive to me as a rookie because he's not shying to throw that ball deep or anything.
Yeah.
Prescott's been going over the middle a lot to guys like Cole Beasley. So he's really keeping it those high percentage passes, not taking a whole lot of chances. I think that's one of the reasons he's got the low interception total right now. But, I mean, statistically, if you just look at the stats, I mean, both are, pretty much on par here. You may even get a slight edge to Prescott, but he's played an extra game.
And I think the slight edge also is that X factor of being able to rush. And, I mean, he's rushed for 2 touchdowns already. I mean, that does give him a little bit of more of an edge. But, again, when you're rushing like that, a lot of rushers have shorter careers.
That's true. So he's got to be smart and slide. He can't make the same mistake Robert Griffin did and cut his career short. So that'll be interesting to look at as well. So these 2 guys, and we were talking about this before the show, eventually these teams are going to meet twice to play each other. Now, there has been some speculation that maybe Romo will come back and start.
Can I just say something before you go on? If Romo comes back, healthy, whatever, and they start him over Dak Prescott, Dallas will literally become the most stupidest team in the NFL. This kid is young. I mean, he looks great on film. And he's done amazing things for Dallas. I mean, they're 3-1. I mean, that to me, I mean, come on, really? I mean, I know that thread's out there. Yes, Romo was the franchise quarterback. But what has he really done to let him keep this position? What has he really done?
Nothing in the playoffs, that's for sure.
Nothing in the playoffs. I mean, no. There's no way that Dak Prescott can go to being a backup after having this stellar of a start.
The way I always looked at this, because, I mean, we were looking at this from week 1 when he was the starter. Like, is Romo going to come back and play? And it's just, I always looked at it like, if they're sitting at 500 or a losing record, they should play Romo.
Yeah.
But if they're winning, there's no reason to sit Prescott. I mean, he's going to continue to grow and get better, and it's going to just mess up his flow if you take him out and put the other guy back in there. So I don't like it unless they're starting to struggle and have a losing record. I think as long as they're doing as good as they're doing, they got to stick with the guy they have in there.
Yeah. And I think, I foresee this Prescott dream happen. It is literally Tom Brady and the Patriots 2.0. Drew Bledsoe got injured. Tom Brady stepped up. And, I mean, the history talks for itself. Tom Brady will probably go on record as one of the best quarterbacks in history when he retired.
And both were late draft picks that weren't expected to amount to anything. Yeah. And then they got their chance and they didn't disappoint. So you're right. It is pretty much the same story.
I mean, seriously, it's a new generation Tom Brady. Tom Brady's career is probably, 3, 4, maybe 5 years away from coming to an end. I mean, you got this young man coming up. This might be the next Tom Brady. We don't know. I mean, I'm not going to make some bold prediction that Dak Prescott is about to be the best quarterback in the NFL, 15 years from now. But I like where this kid's starting. I like where Carson Wentz is starting. These are both, I look at them as both underdogs. And they're stepping up to the plate, and they're doing what they got to do, and they're getting the job done.
Yeah, and Carson Wentz comes from a little bit of a different pedigree because he's got that prototypical size, and he was drafted 2nd overall. Yeah. So it was kind of a no-brainer for the Eagles to start him out of the gate and see what he could do with being that high of a draft pick. But, yeah, I mean, both these guys have really impressed. I think with Wentz, the one thing I will say in defense of Wentz over Prescott also is that no one expected the Eagles to really be good this year.
No,
I mean,
not at all.
The Cowboys, they kind of looked at and were like, yeah, they drafted Ezekiel Elliott. They got a bunch of playmakers on offense. They still got Des Bryant. Jason Witten's always reliable. And Cole Beasley really stepped up this year. So I think people were looking at the Cowboys and thinking, yeah, maybe they can go somewhere even with a rookie starting out. Eagles, I don't think anybody really expected them to be sitting undefeated right now.
No, not at all. I mean, whoa. Like, what? Like, I'm literally looking at 3-0 Eagles, and I'm like, wow. Like, all right, man. I mean, whatever they're doing, do not stop, ever. I mean, but I'm going to go back to the Cowboys for a second. You got Dak Prescott and you got Ezekiel Elliott. Both rookies. They got a young, healthy, hungry backfield. And I think that, honestly, I think the NFC East, it comes down to these two, no question. I think this, the Eagles and the Cowboys is going to come down to those two, no question. And I predict that they're going to split that series. I predict that they're going to split that series. And these could both be playoff teams. I could see it. If they keep playing the way they do, they could. But I like the fact that they have such a decent running back in Ezekiel Elliott. And that might set them just that much apart.
Yeah, but again, this is all barring is Romo coming back and starting or not? Or are they going to do the smart thing and just ride the momentum they have? So we'll see what they decide to do there with the Dallas front office. But I want to move forward to some of our other guys.
Yeah, let's talk about them.
So first, Jared Goff.
Oh, boy.
Number 1 overall pick for the Rams. Rams are sitting at 3-1, much to the surprise of a lot of people.
So how happy were you when they drafted him? I just want to know, what was your expression?
Well, see,
Are you excited?
I wasn't sure what to think because, like, all the analysts coming out were saying, like, oh, yeah, Wentz and Goff are, like, the two guys you would take early, but, like, I don't know if this is the year to take a quarterback early. So I was kind of like, I don't know. Like, I was just kind of hoping that he would turn out good. As it turns out, now that I'm looking at it, maybe we should have taken Wentz because we know he would have been good.
I don't know. Like, to be honest, you guys are 3-1. The Rams are 3-1. I mean, I think Jared Goff is going to be, he might, become something one day. I don't think that day is today because he has 0 games with no regular season stats.
Right. So with Jared Goff, the good thing is he's still an unknown as opposed to being proven bad.
Yeah.
And, Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre for like a whole year or so before he got his chance, and he did great.
Steve Young behind, Joe Montana.
And Flacco would have probably been sitting his first year had it not been for a bowler injury and a Troy Smith illness. So,
which is still like the weirdest thing in NFL.
So I'm not complaining at 3-1. Let's roll with what we've got until unless the ship starts sinking, then we look at our other guys. But the Rams also have Sean Mannion on the bench, who we haven't seen a lot of either. It'd be interesting to see how he does. Yeah. So we got 2 unknowns on the bench that we can bring in and see what they got later on. I don't know if this is going to be Case Keenum's last year or how much longer he's got. Yeah. But we got 2 young quarterbacks on the bench going forward, and we'll see what they have eventually. But he hasn't played any games this year. No stats to report on.
Very
here.
Unknown, yeah.
So moving along, we have another 3 guys we want to touch on.
Yeah.
Paxton Lynch. He recently came in to replace an injured Trevor Siemian. Did pretty well. Got himself 170 passing yards and a touchdown in that game. Mm-hmm. So it looks like they're going to be using him maybe at least another game here. What do you think about this guy?
When the Broncos drafted him, I was very confused because when you look at Paxton Lynch and you look at Brock Osweiler, these 2 look very identical physically. They play very similar. I was wondering, like, well, why'd you get rid of Brock when you had he's proven. I mean, he kept their playoff hopes alive when Manning was injured, and you bring in Paxton Lynch and. Like I said, we don't know, but I mean, he looked good when he came in. I mean, obviously there was a position battle for quarterback and he lost. But at the end of the day, who knows? It's going to be interesting because if Paxton Lynch has a great game coming up, there's going to be some quarterback controversy. You're going to have 2 decent quarterbacks, and who are you going to pick? Are you going to pick Siemian when he comes back, or are you going to pick Lynch? Like, what are you going to do?
Right. I think if it came down to that, they'd put Siemian back in because he had the strong undefeated start.
That's true.
They didn't see anything really horrible from him to say, let's just ride Lynch. But, I mean, and the other thing is, do we expect Lynch to be good going forward as he fills in?
I mean, the kid, he looks like just your big-bodied quarterback. Like, the kid looks good. Like I said, he played great. I mean, 14 for 24 for 170 yards and 1 passing touchdown. That's not bad. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and that wasn't in a whole game either. I mean, Siemian got hurt in the middle of the game, and he comes in and does that. So it'll be interesting to take a look at him going forward.
I mean, you got to think his mindset going into the game was, I'm not going to play. And he came in and put up some pretty good numbers.
Yeah, and then, so another guy to talk about, Jacoby Brissett on the Patriots. 3-1 Patriots right now. They did start with Garoppolo. Yep. Suspended Brady, of course. And Garoppolo got hurt, and Brissett got to play 3 games, actually. 400 yards passing, no passing touchdowns, no interceptions.
He does have a rushing touchdown.
Yep, 83 rushing yards and a touchdown. Pretty good completion percentage there with 34 for 55. So this guy just screams to me, game manager, rookie quarterback. I mean...
Because it is Bill Belichick, and I've said this on the show many times, that man is a genius. I don't like him, but he's a genius. He was thrown into... He literally was given the keys to his dad's Ferrari and said, okay, go around the corner and get some soda from 7-Eleven. That's literally what he did. I mean, you look at what Garoppolo did. I mean, he was great. I was like, wow, this kid, he's going to get a contract somewhere. Unless, the Patriots decide to keep him and... Tom Brady one day retires. Who knows? But with Brissett, I liked what he did. I really did. I really liked what he did. But again, he was on the Patriots. Would he have that same success, with any other team? Would he have that success in Philly? Would he have that success in Dallas? Or any of the other teams that we looked at with the other decent quarterback? I can't say that.
See, to me, I don't think Brissett hasn't done much, and they didn't ask him to do much.
They didn't.
And most recently, they did get their first loss to the Bills, got shut out. That shows you, hey, this Brissett guy can't really put up a bunch of points for him. He's just that guy you stick under center, say, don't throw an interception, and let the running backs do some work kind of guy.
Yeah, just hand the ball off, throw a couple of short dump routes, and don't completely screw up. And I can't say he completely screwed up, Sunday against the Bills, but again, they got shut out.
But, to give the guy credit, he did what he was asked to do. He didn't turn over the ball, didn't make a whole bunch of rookie mistakes. So, you can't complain about the guy, especially as a third stringer. Although it should be noted, they were actually warming up Julian Edelman to play quarterback.
Which I wanted to see that. Did they have a quarterback number for the kid?
Well, I think the idea was, hey, if Brissett gets hurt, we're rolling Julian Edelman out there as our quarterback.
Right.
But
he already has a quarterback number.
And then there's just one last rookie to really touch on that's gotten playing time. That's Cody Kessler on the Browns. So you got the 0-4 Browns. Kessler's played 2 games, 49 completions out of 73 attempts, 467 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, and 1 interception. Pretty run-of-the-mill rookie stats there.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, the only guy on this list that's thrown a pick.
Yeah.
He
played for the Browns, so I don't know.
Yeah, so you got any big thoughts on this guy, or is he just kind of an afterthought?
I think this guy's an afterthought. Like I said, any given Sunday, you never know what could happen. But, no.
Well, I think he's expected to play this upcoming game they've got, so we should see some more of him until McCown's ready to come back in.
Yeah.
Of course, Robert Griffin's basically done for the year, so all they got is McCown and the rookie, so we'll see how they do, but I'd be surprised if the Browns finish with more than 5 or 6 wins on the year at this point. It's not looking good for them.
Yeah, like I said, this is typical textbook Browns. Everybody's like, oh, RG3's on the Browns, they're going to do something. Wrong. No. RG3's the same RG3, and the Browns are the same Browns. And they will forever be the Browns.
It's funny, though, because I was talking to my brother, who is a Ravens fan. My older brother, Ryan, and he was like, actually, I think the Browns could be good this year. But I think what he had in his mind is RG3 is going to stay healthy.
Yeah.
And when we had our original episode, and I was talking about RG3 being a player to watch, that's what I had in my mind, if he stays healthy.
Mm-hmm.
But, as it turns out, he could not, and here we are talking about the lowly 0-4 Browns. But, I still think it could have been a different story had he stayed healthy.
I don't know, man. Now, even RG3 healthy, I'm not trusting him with the game. But this is not about RG3. This is about the 6 rookie quarterbacks we got on the board tonight.
Right. And so Kessler, I agree, afterthought until proven otherwise. So any last-minute thoughts on any of the guys we got on our list?
I think, and this is my bold prediction, I'm going to go on record and say this. I think the Eagles or the Cowboys easily could be in the NFC Championship game. Either one. If these 2 kids play as strong as they've been playing, if they stay as healthy, and Tony Romo does not start for the Cowboys, I wouldn't be surprised if either one of these are going to the Super Bowl. It's
a possibility because you look at the fact that look at the Panthers.
Yeah.
What happened to them?
Panthers are abysmal. The Seahawks, they're decent, but they're definitely not playing like the Seahawks of Seahawks past. The powerhouses of the NFC, the Seahawks, the Cardinals just lost to the Rams. It's a new NFC. You got the Rams 3-1. You got the Cowboys 3-1. You got the Eagles 3-0.
Yeah, see, I actually, I'm thinking the Vikings are going to be in that championship game.
I do think the Vikings are definitely in the conversation. Without a question.
I think between them and the Packers, one of them has to make it in.
Yeah.
They're just They're
The NFC,
tough defense, tough
yeah.
offense. But yeah, I mean the void is open for one of these teams to.
I think
in
one
there.
of them could slip in. I do. Bold prediction tonight. And I have a lot of Cowboys and a lot of Eagles fans. One of y'all are going. One of them, Eagles or Cowboys, are going to be deep in the NFC playoff picture.
One last question before we end our episode
Hit
here.
me.
So, can you see Prescott or Wentz being the first rookie quarterback to win a Super Bowl?
Wow. Woo.
Or are you not ready to go quite that far?
I don't know. Wow. It's not out of the question. I don't think it's something I can definitely say no. It could. Again, any given Sunday.
And that concludes our episode for this week. My name is Justin, and this is Gerald.
And don't forget to like and subscribe below. And let us know what you think in the comments section. And also, don't forget to share this video. Good night.